Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Secretary DeVos, I want to thank you for testifying today. And I'll reiterate what my colleague and my good friend, Senator Capito, has said about the concerns we have. One thing that keeps us bipartisan here in the Senate is the veterans and children. We seem to really cross over and really want to help, and I think we all very much care about that, but one size doesn't fit all. I also like to welcome a couple of West Virginians we have with us, and they were very concerned about the concern plan cuts from the 21st Century Community Learning Center, and we have with us Pamela Shope, and she's from the Playmates Preschool and Child Development Center in Sarita, West Virginia, and which is a 21st Century Learning Center site. She also has, I think, her children, Brennan and Aiden, with them, so I want to thank them for being here and hope you get a chance maybe to meet with them before you leave because they're really quite something. Rural schools, we've talked about rural schools, the cuts and all this that are coming, and I know you still feel strongly about the school choice. In states such as West Virginia, a rural setting in West Virginia makes it hard. We don't have that luxury of having that choice because we have a lot of schools that are consolidated already, closing, students, lack of students and things of this sort. With the cuts because of the support of the choice program in a state that doesn't have a choice program or an effective choice program that would work because of our ruralness, how can we make up that difference? Is there any flexibility you have that we could work to help some of the schools, programs that were cut through the money that they're not going to be asking from you for choice?
Well, Senator, thanks for the question, and more broadly, the question around rural schools. As you know, the special line item for rural schools has been maintained and is proposed to be the same as it was for the last year. And that does provide rural schools the opportunity to do some things differently or different, in addition to what all of the funding through the other title plans do. But when it comes to addressing specific needs in West Virginia, I go back to the opportunity that the state has through its ESSA plan to really target in and focus on addressing the needs that West Virginian students have and the uniqueness there. The flexibility that is built in that you all put into that legislation to allow states and local districts to be able to do some things differently than they've been forced to do before, we believe will provide a lot of opportunity, and I'm hopeful that we'll see some creativity in that regard.
Let me talk another subject here. Every Student Succeeds Act included a new program called the Title IV Student Support and Academic Enrichment Grants Program. The block grant is designed to provide states and school districts flexibility to provide a wide range of service support for well-rounded education. We are getting pummeled by the opiate addiction that goes on in our state and around this country. I understand that the department stripped the funding from the block grant that can be used to help states like mine that's being devastated by opiate addiction. I don't know whether you all realize what effect it's having in the family and the family support and why this was so important to states to try to build some type of a structure when it functionally has collapsed in the family or in the community because of opiate addiction.
Well, the issue of opiate addiction is really a very concerning one to many communities. And again, I go back to the contention that West Virginia has an opportunity to really focus.
Well, they don't have the money to do it. That's the problem. When you cut it, we all have good intentions, I understand. But the state's facing some really budget challenges like other states too. Mm-hmm. And these programs are so vitally important to stabilize a structure that has fallen apart. And the opiate addiction that affects the child's families are just devastating. I just would hope that
the Promise Neighborhood program can help in that regard, I believe. I also want to just go back to a comment that was made earlier about state and local school budgets that are reducing and correct that. In fact, the spending estimate increase in state and local funding for education between this year and next year is expected to increase $21 billion in the states. So there is not a decrease in funding at the state and local level. There actually continues to be a greater investment on the part of state and local governments. So I wanted to just ensure.
We would hope that maybe somebody from your department would come to West Virginia and go through our department with them and explain that, because they're looking at it as cuts and maybe there's some way we can work something out. We'd love to do that. I know my time is running out. I want you to consider Medicaid in schools, because Medicaid in schools is sometimes the first line of delivery to some of these children that get any type of health care. And that's very, very concerning to us. So I hope you would consider that. Love to get with your agency and sit down and see if we can have a visit to West Virginia.
I would welcome
Thank
that.
you.
Thanks.